When I first began the municipal government business, Gerald was one of the first persons I met outside of my own city. There were a lot of outstanding managers then, but Gerald mentored me by taking as much time and effort as I asked of him to assist. When I was a new manager in 1968, Gerald was always there to take my calls and give me excellent advice on how to resolve problems confronting me. He was instrumental in developing the city manager circuit rider program, from which a lot of Oklahoma managers evolved. He was always doing whatever it took to assist any manager with their efforts. I am pleased that a person like Gerald would be honored with an award in his name. I believe that to be nominated for such an award would be a high honor, and to win it would be the highlight of one's career.
It has been more than 50 years since the late 1960s when I first walked into a room where Gerald Wilkins was. At the time, I didn't know who he was, yet it took only seconds to be drawn to where others were gathered around him. He had whatever it is, charm, magnetism, charisma, allure, that draws others to him. I knew immediately that there stood a confident, debonair, engaging man whom I should seek to emulate to become the city manager I hoped to be. During the next 3 decades, I learned over and over again that my first inclination was right. Whatever the event, whatever the circumstance, wherever he was, people looked to and followed his steady actions and well-conceived ideas on how to serve and merit public support for programs and plans. And he did so without seeking attention, fame, or prestige for himself. He never lectured, he guided. He never sought acclaim for his successes, but made others feel superior in theirs. He was the epitome of what a city manager should seek to become, both then and today.
Recognition from your peers is very special in any profession, and certainly receiving the Gerald Wilkins City Management Award in 2007 from the City Management Association of Oklahoma was definitely one of the highlights of my career. I think all of us are proud of our calling to public service, and receiving this recognition from people who know what it means to be a local government professional is something that I'll always treasure. We have a dynamic, progressive community here in Edmond, and quite frankly, it's humbling to be perceived as having played some part, have some involvement in some of the successes. And I would encourage my professional colleagues in Oklahoma to help keep this award alive by thinking of deserving peers that they could nominate for this professional recognition as we move into future years.
I met Gerald Wilkins in 1974. I was working as a grant administrator at the Office of Community Affairs and Planning in Oklahoma City, and looking for a job as a city manager, and very excited about that. Gerald was hired by OCAP to establish the circuit riding city managers program for the state of Oklahoma, and that news was very important to me. I can distinctly remember the first time I met Gerald at OCAP. I was gushing with enthusiasm about becoming a city manager. He smiled that warm and engaging smile, stuck out his hand and said, "I'll tell you what," he said, "you teach me to work for the state of Oklahoma, and I'll teach you as much as I can to be a good city manager in Oklahoma." That day, a one-sided deal was agreed to, and my life was changed from that day forward. As I scoured the state for management opportunities, Gerald mentored me and tutored me in the right questions to ask, the things to look for, how to change opinions and viewpoints, but he was never pushy. He never caused you to want to see his way only. He didn't have biases. Just a wonderful man. His influence was so deep and so wide that even my wife was touched by Gerald and his lovely wife, Marguerite, as we were getting ready to start our professional career as a young couple. The day came, though, when I needed Gerald's help. The city of Blackwell called and asked me to interview. Gerald helped me with interview tips, questions I should be asking, positions I should be firm on, and lo and behold, even though I forgot all of them, I'm sure, I got the job. That wasn't the end of the influence. We stayed friends for many years after that. Gerald Wilkins was a great city manager. He was a wonderful mentor and tutor. He was the example of how to do things the right way. And that's what makes the Gerald Wilkins Award special, because a giant in municipal government in Oklahoma placed his print on this state, and that's what that award represents. And anyone that gets it should regard it with the highest of honors.